What's up, y'all? Above and below. Back at the dialogue with Dana. What's up, Dana? How you
Hey
doing?
everybody.
So I think last time we spoke, you were having some issues posting on
Mega personals on the
back
on the
periods, all
internet
that shit.
period.
Yeah.
Like so this is probably like about the fourth time I've been like flagged or like thrown off. Because they have I guess hackers that like get your information, like they get your password. They'll send you a text saying it's mega personals, and if you open the text, like I guess they get your information and they like can take your post and like, use it and like get you flagged for fraud or like pretend to be or whatever.
Sure.
And so I got kicked off, and it's extremely hard. Like when you get kicked off, you can't just like call somebody or email somebody and be like, hey, this is what happened, like, you know, and can you guys like okay me to post? So like I've sent emails to the admin, like no one gets back to you. Like I've tried to, do a different number, different email and post, and like I can't. And it's like I'm kind of stuck because that's how I make my money. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Like without that, it's like I've been doing like some street shit here and there. You know, like walk to the store and like maybe somebody pick me up, whatever. Go to the game room. I've been hustling. I've been doing the game room.
How does that compare and contrast the street hustling versus the internet?
Like I shoot high or whatever, but it's like nothing compared. Like so, it's just a different clientele, different price point. You know, like so. As opposed to like $200 for an hour, you're like 40 to 80 an hour. Like
Right.
like you're charging like 1/3. And I'll like say like 150 or something, or like aim high, but like more than likely, like they're offering like $10-$20. So that's the difference. 10-20 is compared to 200. So
Yeah.
it's a big difference.
10%.
It's like working at McDonald's in comparison to having like a job that you went to school for, or like a job where you actually have a career.
When do you think that they're gonna start letting you post?
I mean, shoot, I went like 6 months without posting one time, and like I said, it's just been kind of like a lot of shit. I've been like going out more because I'm kind of like a hermit. Like I stay in, I don't do anything. Like, and I've been like going out, like go to the game room or go like just get out of the house, whatever. And it seems like that's not working for me because I've been through like 5 phones. Like, my phones get stolen.
Yep.
Like, shit just happens. When you leave the house, shit happens. It's better not to leave. Like,
do you think that you'll be back on the internet within a couple months?
Well,
Who's flagging you?
Who's flagging?
Is there a certain person flagging you?
The admin at the website that I work on is flagging me. So it's like, I don't know, whoever that is, the kind of like the Wizard of Oz guy,
Right.
I don't know who they are. I don't see them, but they're there and they make decisions.
Okay, so I think you were also getting to spend some time with your family last time.
Yeah, like I've been talking to the kids. Had pizza. Like I talk to the kids quite often. Sometimes I get like in my little modes where I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't answer the phone. Like I don't answer the door. And like that goes for everybody. Like nobody is immune. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just like kind of to myself. But and I hate being like that. But I guess I don't know. To me, that like relaxes me. I have anxiety really bad, like PTSD, and so like a lot of people and a lot of like movement makes my anxiety really high. And there's a lot of like movement here.
What's that?
So like it, I get anxious. So like when it's quiet, I enjoy it.
All right. So, how's everything going as far as? I mean, are you still comfortable in the spot you're staying in? Are you still comfortable with your future plans? I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, I'm somewhat comfortable here, but I'm thinking like that. That's probably like not very good for my growth because I mean, as far as like even business goes, people pull in and like they don't even knock on the door. Like they pull in and they pull right out. It's like the Congress like projects, really. Like like I mean they're like they pull in. There's like people like working on bikes outside and like fucking at like 2 a.m. Like they built the fence like overnight. Like like who builds shit like construction at night? I think you're supposed to cut that off at 10 o'clock anyway. But yeah, it's kind of like tweakerish and kind of they say sketchy. I mean, I don't think it's sketchy. It's a bunch of like old guys that's been here for years, whatever. Like people.
People don't know us anymore.
Yeah, people don't go to sleep and they get bored. They do things. So I don't know what's so sketchy about that, but
I think it's a really good tucked away place. Just what you want to do,
Man, this guy texted me today. Like somebody, like this girl and her dude knocked on the wrong door or whatever. So I guess he's observing in the parking lot, so he's not getting set up or whatever. And I get this text, and he's like, "What unit are you in?" And I was like, "The same one I told you, number 9." And he goes, "Someone just knocked on the door." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm like, this is my apartment. I have neighbors. I said, and just so you know, I said they had the wrong door. Like, those people don't even live here. And I was like, so does that answer your question? Everything else to say? Like, I had my neighbors. Well, I used to stay in the one next door. And then this guy, he didn't get high or nothing. He just worked every day. And then I had another neighbor that, like, was like casual, like on the weekend type get high. But they would come in from work and, like, sit on the porch. There's 2 old guys sit on the porch and have conversations. So this guy pulls up and he sees him sitting on the porch and he goes, I don't know, those guys outside look kind of sketchy. And I was like, what's sketchy about them? And he was like, I don't know, they just look sketchy. I'm like, the 2 old guys on the porch, like, talking about how shitty their day at work was.
In front of their house.
I was like, that one? And she's like, can you tell him to go inside? I was like, the fuck? How am I going to tell my neighbors, like, hey, I have a guest and he, like, is kind of sketched out by you. Can you go inside for a minute until he comes in? Like, that's really rude. Like, I don't know. And it's funny because, like, I think it's kind of like a racist thing. I think, like, the whole sketch thing was because, like, oh, there's 2 black guys outside. And the fucked up thing is the dude himself was black. And he was sketched out by it. It was just crazy. I was like, really, dude? Like, so judgmental.
But comfortable can be better than some things, right? I know a lot of people have been talking about all the sex trafficking from Mexico and all of that stuff kind of blowing up and getting crazy. You experienced stuff like that?
Yeah. So, like, way, like, many years ago, I did have, like, I had a boyfriend that we stayed at this, like, really shitty hotel in New Orleans, the Joy and the Rainbow.
The Joy? Is
Yeah.
it worse than the Park West Inn?
Oh God, the Park West is nothing. The Park West is like the Marriott.
Okay.
Comparison.
Can be gross so much.
It's
better.
like it's worse than the Golden Nugget, like the old Golden Nugget. I mean, it's fucking bad. So it's $15 for a room, and there's no comforter. It's just like this like hard like crunchy bed with like plastic on it. And if you pay $5 extra, they'll give you a comforter to bring up to your room, and you get towels.
And everyone, they're getting that 5 from everybody.
Yeah, so like you go up to the bulletproof glass and you're like, hey, I'd like a room. The presidential suite has flat screen TV chained to the wall. It's like
The hole's too small to fit a gun through. Only your ID, right?
Exactly. The presidential suite, you know? MRV Hotel. I think that one's still there. And then, of course, Jordan Rainbow, same thing. And it's like nothing but tweakers and nothing but like people getting high and prostitutes. Like, it's, you know, it's like a hustler's hotel. I got kicked out of both of them. Pretty impressive.
So, what? Tell me a little bit about the Fetti compared to the tar.
So I don't fuck with the Fetti, and that's just me. Like, I know my my late ex Mark, you know, y'all know Mark. I know he thought that Fetti was like a harm reduction tool.
Right.
Which even then, I think he'd probably still argue with me that it can be used in harm reduction. I don't think that you can use anything in harm reduction that you can't regulate, or like that. I mean, it's really like you could do one hit and then the next hit you could overdose. Like, you can't really judge how strong it is. Like, you never know how strong it. I mean,
back then it was still in the patch. Back then, was it still just the patch?
I had patches, but
that was the only time I think it was ever.
I had patches, but like it. I don't know. I just think that the half-life is shorter, so you're sick more often, which means that you're having to you're having to fix more often, which puts you out doing whatever you gotta do to get it, you know, like, because it's so hard for someone to have a regular job and like get high, because people don't, you know, there's so many drug policies, and like they want you to be functioning members of society, but then like at the same time, like, you can't work anywhere, like, you know, people judge you. It's like,
It takes too long to hit.
hello, yeah. Like, the thing about heroin, I always said heroin is doable. I think you can function on heroin if you always have heroin. Like, you know, I mean, I've had money to get it and I just couldn't find it, and if I'm working a regular job, you know, it's like, and I'm like throwing up and shitting on myself and like, you know, cold sweats and all that, and not able to work, I mean, how are you gonna hold a job? So the physical part is always, that's the part that makes it difficult. You know, you can never guarantee that you're gonna, you know, have what you need.
As far as your work goes.
As far as you being able to physically get up and like perform at work.
Right.
Because I know, like, when I'm sick, I'm like useless. Like, I'm like balled up on the sofa and I can't do anything but like lay there.
What's your body telling you, like, before you go out to work, like, in today's day?
Has it been going out more? Are you feeling like
Like,
you need it? Like, you need the air?
no.
Trying to break that comfort zone?
I'm like, fuck. I have to go out and fucking make some money again. Like, no, I'm like over it, kinda. It's getting old. Like, it's like the thought of like, hey, you have to like every day get up and like figure out how you're gonna like pay the rent and eat, and how you're gonna like support your habit, and how you're gonna, you know, do all these things you need to do. And like, it don't matter. I was telling somebody, it's fucked up because like when you hustle, it don't matter how you feel or like what you're going through. I almost had liver failure at one point, and so like my enzymes were like super elevated, and I had an overdose, and like the toxins weren't like, my body wasn't pushing the toxins out fast enough as I was putting them in, you know. So I overdosed, and I woke up, and I was like, my whole body, like, I couldn't even walk. And like my friend like helped me to the bus stop so I could sit on a bus stop so that people could pick me up, and I like had to like pretend like I wasn't like dying in pain, like to walk to a car and then like, you know, get some money and like come out. I mean, like, you like have to do something. Like, nobody, it's not like, you know, you can't call somebody and like, hey, I can't be in my room today, can you help me? Like, there is no, everybody's like trying to do the same shit out here, and really nobody's in a position to help anybody, you know? You gotta do it for yourself, shit. So it's like, it sucks. It's difficult. You don't have anything to fall back on. You don't have like your fucking, like, what do you call it? Your
support system.
Yeah, paid days off, or like
your vacation time.
Your vacation time and all that shit. You don't have that. You know, that's like one of the good things about legalization, because, you know, then it what do you call it, normalizes it, and then like your, you know, healthcare benefits, and you know, girls are tested like once a month or something like that, so you get your, like, keep your license and all that kind of stuff, and it's more like regulated, and people are get checked in with more often, like how they're doing, and all. It's like, it reduces trauma, it reduces it just reduces like a lot of the negative parts of it, you know.
It allows it to be a victimless crime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise it wouldn't.
Yeah, it reduces a lot of things, makes it more valid, and like, yeah. Just
as of today, what is and are your drug of choices? Drug of choice.
It's always been the same. So crack and heroin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I stick to the light stuff.
Okay, how many times have you overdosed in the past 8 weeks?
Oh God, 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was, I know, 2 times in the past couple months, but I had like, in the past year, I've had like 7 or 8 overdoses, like, that had to be like Narcan, stop breathing, like almost died.
How many where the ambulance had to take you to the hospital?
4 of them where I had to be taken to like, I'm not going to the fucking hospital, like, unless you call the ambulance, and like the neighbors like held me down, which I like didn't appreciate or whatever, because I'm like, I think I have a right to refuse medical, but I think they were hoping I'd get caught with something on me or whatever and get evicted, but whatever. But I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, so they held me down for that one. So that one I think I could have did without going to the hospital. But most of them is like, I'm just with friends and they like Narcan me, and I wake up and I feel like shit, and I'm like cussing everybody out for Narcan me and throwing up, and you know, and a fucking like pathetic little pile of vomit, and fucking on the floor like crying in pain for like 2 hours.
Where do you get the Narcan?
From Texas Harm Reduction Alliance, and I still have shit from Austin Harm Reduction Coalition, and god dang, also from you guys, like bring me supplies all the time, Above and Below.
Right, shout out.
Like,
yeah,
so
cool.
I think it's really important to have outreach workers and connection with people that do like home deliveries and stuff too, you know. When we were doing, when I was with CARE and we started doing like home deliveries for people that were HIV positive, like that was a big thing for people that like were maybe sick and couldn't get out of the house, or like have other mental health issues that, you know, might keep them from getting out and doing things that, yeah.
Maybe that's the only people they see.
And I don't think it's enabling. Like, I think that it's like just making sure people have what they need, you know, for whatever they're going through at the time. So
Where they're at.
yeah. Yep.
So what's your plan, or do you even have like a 6 month to a 1 year plan as far as narcotics go?
I don't plan on anything changing anytime soon. So,
How about that comfort zone?
haha. Yeah, like, probably. I just don't have the motivation right now. Like, maybe I will in the future. My kids are, like, pretty much grown. And, I was clean, like, when they were coming up, you know, like, I raised the kids and everything, and And up to that time, yeah, like that was my reason. So a lot of people say like you have to do it for yourself because if not, it won't last. Which it didn't last. Whatever, that's true. But I had 13 years of sobriety, so I think I said this before. I think like whatever it is that motivates you to do it, like it's good. That works. So yeah.
So you were still working the streets when you were sober for 13 years.
Yeah.
And had a day job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always like had some kind of hustle. So, because even like when I first got out of prison and I was doing like fast food and like going to school and Goodwill and all that kind of stuff, I still hustled on the side, Like I didn't have to do as much because right now like that's my only income. And before I had like a check that I knew was coming and it was guaranteed. So this isn't ever guaranteed.
Right.
So.
And that's stressful.
Oh hell yeah. I think I started getting gray hairs and definitely I've definitely aged in the past year, so
you can't tell. I mean, I know it must suck being 29, but
I wish.
Is there anything that you want in life that you don't have? Is there anything that you're hopeful for or that you want to strive for as far as maybe change talk goes? Anything like that?
I mean, that's a tough one. Right now, not really. Which is probably why I don't have any plans because I'm not extremely hopeful at the moment. If you want to, I was just being honest about it.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I guess they call it a midlife crisis or whatever the hell's going on. But I think like once you're out here, I think like the ones of us that like stay out here and are out here like in like middle age and older age, like seniors, whatever, like I think you get to that point where you're like, I fucked up and like, damn, maybe I should have took a different path or like, this is what it is, and like you kind of like depressed about that shit because it's like, the fuck am I gonna do? And then you see older people out here struggling to make it, and you're like, that's gonna be me in like in some years, like, and it just you feel kind of stuck. So.
Actually, I heard the other day that your body goes into depression on purpose to try and stop you from doing something you shouldn't be doing.
That's interesting.
Is that not crazy?
I
Some
mean,
people really suffer from
that makes sense.
mental health, but
That's crazy.
Is there anything like a burning desire that you feel the need to say, maybe to the young woman who is thinking about, I don't know, making some fast choices?
I don't know. It's kind of so. Like we do decide our own destiny, pretty much. But in reality, I'm gonna let the dog in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, like people go through different things and it shapes who they are. Like we know that, at birth, like kids that are neglected or abandoned don't what do you say, blossom in the way other kids do.
Sure.
Like as far as their growth and development.
Yes.
So, to an extent, not making excuses for like not doing more or better or whatever. Not everybody is as strong mentally, like I'm glad I'm not, out there like pushing a shopping cart full of shit, like living, God knows where, like that I to an extent have enough resilience to like at least care to like not totally give up. You know what I mean?
It's good.
Like, because I've been through a lot of shit. Like, and I see a lot of people have been through less that can't handle that. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like glad that that at least that, but your environment and the things you experience do affect your ability to, to function, in my opinion.
And it builds character. If you make it to the other side, it makes you stronger,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say you're probably a pretty strong woman,
Thank you.
Well, Dana, always a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And can't wait to see you soon. And hopefully in the next 60, 90 days, we'll do a follow-up interview.
Alright.
Yeah. Drop some comments and we'll have Miss Dana here read them and comment back to you.
And subscribe to Above and Below.
That's right.